Hello everyone, welcome back to the frequency upgrade. Today we talk about how to control your thoughts. And so the last video was about how we create our reality. And what we basically concluded was that we have thoughts, emotions, and actions, and our words, our behavior that direct our creations. So today we go a bit deeper into the actual words, the actual thoughts that we think, and have a look how we can actually understand what thoughts actually are, and how to direct them in a way that is serving us better than it is at the moment. And so what I have found out for myself um, regarding thoughts is we have complete power over our thoughts. We can choose to tune into a thought or not. And I have come to the conclusion, or I realize that we are not our thoughts. We are not our thoughts. I am not my thoughts. And what I mean by that is basically when you think about our 7 universal principles, we have the first principle which says everything is mental. So you are basically that consciousness, that divine being that has a human experience. And how I see it is, we are like a projector and a transmitter of your core frequency, of love frequency, but your unique individual energy frequency that is going out into existence. And like in a movie, you have the light source, and in front of the movie you have a film, and this film is what I think can be your thoughts. And so what happens is that basically your consciousness takes the form or the shape of that thought and brings this into existence. So it is a way of expressing itself through that thought. And this thought will have the mentioned effects, which will then come back to you as a experience. And thought itself can already be an experience for the consciousness, for your spirit. And but often we actually see thought as something that we are. We don't perceive ourselves as the observer of the thought. And an interesting thing about this is the old Egyptians, there's this eye of Horus, and you have this, it symbolizes basically the 6 senses. So we have our normal 5 senses, and the 6th sense is actually, they say that our thoughts are another sense. So in other words, what we think is it's not coming directly from us. It is basically something we perceive from the outside. And what is the outside? Well, this is our body, our brain. And like I said, we have our consciousness, our true self consciousness, which is projecting its energy into this human experience, and also through the thoughts. And now, like with other senses, we have, when we hear something, we hear something, but we don't say, I am what I hear, or we don't say, I am what I see, or I am what I feel. And the same is true, I am not what I think. But often we think, I am this, I am that, and we take these thoughts for granted, but actually they are not who we are. We are the observer of our thoughts, and we have come so close to the thoughts that we don't see the gap in between. We are like the spectator or we are like the visitor in the cinema. When you go to the cinema, you're so entranced by the movie that you forget that you're in the cinema. So you go in, the movie is really good, you watch it, and you feel with it. You feel with the actor. You feel shocked. You feel sad. You feel all the emotions that the actors go through, and you're actually hypnotized by the movie. And during that state, you actually forget about yourself. And the same is true with our thoughts. And so if we see that, and if you know or become aware of this already, allows us to step back mentally and to think, wait a minute, I'm not what I'm thinking. Now the question is, where do these thoughts come from? And what I think is that they basically are a pattern. They are wired into our brain, and therefore like a language of the mind. It's the way the mind and the body interact together, and it's like a memory. And all the experience that you have are stored in this memory, in your brain. And the more often you engage certain thought patterns, the easier it becomes for you to access them. And if you have a thought and you will never think it again, this brain structure will basically disappear. It will be overwritten by a new structure, a new signal that serves another purpose. And so the thing is, we are not the thoughts. We are just observing the thoughts. And seeing this actually is already, I think, is quite helpful to realize that, and also to see that you are actually your true self is deep within you, and if you go inside, you feel this presence which is always there. And you might think, okay, when I hear, for example, I hear something, I cannot close my ears. I cannot, okay, you can close your ears, but you cannot not listen. So when your ears are open, you will listen. And the same is true with your thoughts. You cannot close your thoughts. How can you, let's say, not think? How can you stop thinking the bad thing and only think the good thing, the good thoughts? And the same is with like with hearing. We hear all the noises around us, but we don't focus on them. They are there and they are perceived, but we don't put our energetic weight behind it. We don't enforce, we don't amplify what we hear, what we don't focus on. When someone talks to us in a noisy environment, we can focus on that person and what this person is saying to us. And we still hear the rest, but we just cancel it out. And the same you can do for your thoughts. You don't have to take them all in and identify yourself with your thoughts. You can just let them go through you like a film, and you just like staring into the distance. You can look into the sky or into the distance, and you just look, but you don't see. You stare, you gaze into the open space. And the same you can do with the thoughts. If you want to first realize what you think, and also if you want to think only a certain way. And so we know that our thoughts have a big impact, and I think it's very important to understand that you are not your thoughts, and how you can direct them in the way that you wish. And there are basically some exercises that you can do to do that. One I just explained, you can basically let your thoughts rush through you without emphasizing them, without amplifying them. And when you think about it, your thoughts are like stored in your brain, or the connections. And if you engage the same thoughts over and over again, your consciousness, your energetic projector, sees always the same movie. It's like, you have the movie, and it's the moment it ends, it starts over again, and you have always the same thoughts in the same pattern. And each time they come around, you amplify them, you give energetic importance to them, you focus on them, and so you create, because you let it happen. You let it happen, that you get hypnotized by the thoughts and give them meaning, more meaning than they should have, more meaning than when you hear the noise on the street. You don't give this any meaning in your life, but the thoughts actually is the same thing, and you amplify those thoughts. So by letting them just running through, and if you want, you can take notes. Just sit down 5 minutes, let your thoughts come and go. Try not to follow them. So you sit, you think, and you observe your thought pattern. What are you thinking? Why are you thinking? Where does it take you, or want to take you? Which rabbit hole do your thoughts want to take you? And you can make some notes, and it depends on the day, on the situation. But if you actually practice this, you will notice that over time, your thoughts, the noise in your head gets less. And if you have done this for a while, you can also then practice to focus on one thought alone. So you sit down again for 5 minutes, and you think only one thing, whatever it is, ideally something good, something positive, something you like to think about. Or it can also be like an imagined situation, an image, or something you like. And try to keep this image, this thought, as long as you can. And each time you drift off, just come back and focus again on the thought. Make this also for 5 minutes. The next step will be to create a complete emptiness by not allowing any thought to come in to your mental vision. And you can do this again 5 minutes. It takes practice, and you will find it to be difficult at the beginning. But the more, like everything in life, the more you practice, the better you get. And what I use to do this, I count. You can count how many times you drift off. And I use like a little rope with knots, and you can basically just push one knot each thought that you have. At the end, okay, I drifted off like 10 times. And without counting it, you just do it while you meditate or focus. You can this concentration exercise. And so these are basically 3 exercises that you can do. And yeah, I think the more you do it, the better it gets. And it's quite useful to be able to realize when your thoughts getting on you and when you're getting hypnotized by them. And what I want to say also is there are basically 2 types of thoughts that I see. So you have the thoughts that are a bit like hypnotic, constantly there from originating from your body and what your body is perceiving and transmitting to you. And there are the thoughts that come to you like an intuition. They are just like this sense of knowing. And they can also come as an image or as a thought, as an idea. But this is it's slightly different. Different feeling. There's some different energy. They are just there, and they are normally something new, something you don't expect, and something you feel in alignment with, because those thoughts, images, and ideas, they come with a feeling. They come like an event. You know that this is something, okay, this is something good. Whereas the normal thoughts that you have on a daily basis, they're like old friends, um, nothing new. They talk to you all the time. It's getting hypnotizing, and nothing you actually even notice. And so this is how you can distinguish the different thoughts. And so one you want to have less of, the noise and the insights, which bring clarity, purpose, and direction. Those are the thoughts that you want to keep, and that you want to attract, and to grow, and to get access to on a constant basis. But it's only possible if you are stepping into your being. So with this being said, you have 3 exercises that you can do. See your thoughts as a film, as a movie that don't belong to you, as a sixth sense, and see that you are not your thoughts. And by allowing that thought to evolve, you will become less concerned about your thoughts, and you will realize that you have the power to choose any thought at any given time that you wish to think. And all the negative thoughts that you have, they are there because you choose to focus on them. So every time you get a negative thought, by practicing what we just said before, the first exercise, you observe the thoughts that come by. And by practicing this, you can choose which thought you want to focus on. And you can say, yeah, why do I have to care about these politicians? Why do I actually do this? Let's think about something I like. Let's think about something I enjoy. And this is a matter of a millisecond. You just redirect your focus. And this, you can call this strategic ignorance to any negative thoughts, and just make it a habit to think thoughts that fire you up, inspire you, enlighten you, and so on. So this is it for today, and next session will be about your emotions. Okay, bye bye.